Hello.
Hello. Hi, Miss Ann. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. I wanted to make sure because I put my earpiece in, so I wanted to make sure the sound and the quality was going good, because if not, I was going to take them out.
No,
And
I can hear you clearly.
yes. How you doing, friend?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's nice to meet again, of course.
Thank you for my schedule got really screwed today, so thank you.
Oh, no. You're fine. So when your team emailed me and said, "Can we change the time?" I said, "Oh, it's fine. It's fine."
Oh, good. Great. Wonderful.
It was no problem. I'm sitting right here. I would listen to some Sade. Remember Sade?
Oh, yeah. Of course.
We all love some Sade. Yes. Well, first of all, Miss Ann, I want to thank you so much for coming on my show again for part 2 for Home Cook Convos, and just speaking with me, and being a woman of your word. And we exchanged phone numbers and we stayed in contact. Because I know you're a very busy woman. So I said,
You're very busy too. We're all busy, right? But we all have to make time for each other. So that's
absolutely
true.
Absolutely, we really do. I was gonna also first let me say to the people, welcome everyone to Home Cook Convos. You are watching Jonathan, and I am interviewing the amazing Anne Marie Johnson. She is a acclaimed actress and film producer, and are you getting into directing as well too?
Never. I'm not. I don't like that much control.
Yes, but we all know Miss Anne Marie Johnson. It is Thursday, August 20th. It is 1 p.m. Pacific her time and 4 p.m. Pacific Eastern time. And this is part 2 of our conversation. And the supporters of myself and Miss Anne, if you haven't seen part 1, it's on my talk show, Home Cook Convos. And then I've been tagging The Addiction of Hope too. So
I love it.
You guys can get all the stuff in the media. So I'm going to upload it on my my social media, and then whenever your team wants to replay something, we see some nuggets in there, you guys are more than welcome.
Yeah, we're actually we're updating because we received 100% fresh tomato in Rotten Tomato reviews. I know.
That's amazing.
I'm telling you, that's hilarious. Yeah. So we're going to start posting all of that information on our website. And more reviews are coming in, but once you get a certain point for an independent film, and if the reviews are all positive, they give you 100% fresh. So
absolutely,
we're so happy and proud of that.
I mean, Miss Anne, you should be, because The Addiction of Hope is stellar. Your husband Martin, I know he directed and produced it. It's such an amazing. Like I said before, we're not going to get into, because a lot of that was in part 1. A lot of that is in part 1, but right. It's such a thinking and speaking person's film.
Yeah,
and it really makes you value family and reconsider your loved ones. Before we get into the show, I was watching Keke Palmer. She has a podcast.
Yes.
And she had Yvette Nicole Brown on there.
Yes.
And you know how Yvette, we talked about, she's a caregiver.
Yes.
And Keke was talking to Yvette and said to Yvette, Yvette, you was on Community, and you dropped the show and started taking care of your dad.
Yes.
And then Keke looked at Yvette, was like, was that hard? Because because you had, it's going to get better, girl. It gets better, girl. Keke looked at her and said to Yvette, is that hard? Because, you have bills to pay. And then Yvette looked at Keke and go, was it? She goes, my dad means a lot to me. So if my mom called me, I drop everything.
That's right.
I do not care about, she said, I know the Lord will provide for me.
That's correct.
She said, this is a man that took care of me when I was a child up into my adult years.
That's right.
If my father needs something, I drop whatever I'm doing to take care of my family.
Yes, well, that's something Yvette and I have in common, other than being on the Screen Actors Guild after board together for years, even though we were on different political sides of the aisle. She and I left a hit show to care for my mother.
Jag.
I left JAG, I did. It was an easy decision. I just packed up my stuff and walked off the set. And I knew that they would survive without me, but I knew my mother would not survive without me.
Your mom needs you.
Yeah, my mother needed me, and it was a 40-month experience of being completely hands-on. I didn't work. Thank God for residuals, and thank God for my husband, and thank God for keeping me afloat, because my priority was to make sure that my mother was as comfortable at home on life support than being in a hospital. So Yvette did the right thing. Not everyone can do that, but if you can do it, because it's the most painful but the most beautiful experience you'll ever have.
Absolutely. Like I shared with you before, I live in New York City, and all my family, my mother Lisa and my sister Ashley, all of them live in Tennessee. They live on the outskirts of Nashville, Tennessee. So I was recently home January, February, March of this year for 3 months because my mom had to have hip surgery. Hip surgery, and she recovered well. She's doing well. She's doing well, but she needed me, and I told my job up here. I said, "Hey, I'm going to do an extended leave of absence," and they were very accommodating and all of that. So I said I had to drop what I had to do, and if my mother needs me, she needs me.
There is no, listen, not every adult child has or had a wonderful relationship with their parent.
I know.
That's just the fact, right?
Yes.
Not everyone was suited to be a good parent. But putting that aside, for those of us who did have the honor of having wonderful relationships with our parents, the least we could do is to be there in any way we can when they most need us. And you and I had the calling, and we went. Yvette, millions of others who never get any recognition of being caregivers, because it truly is some of the most difficult. It's different than caring for your child. You expect your child to have needs. You sacrifice a lot for your child. When you're dealing with an adult, and it's your mom or your father or an older brother or sister or aunt, grandparent, it's a difficult balance of respecting their autonomy, but also knowing that they can't live alone, they can't care for themselves. So psychologically and spiritually and emotionally, it's really a challenge. And I encourage every caregiver, whether you're in it, whether it's in your future, or whether you're still dealing with the scars of being a caregiver in the past, you've got to get therapy. Because I knew that I needed emotional and psychological help after caring for someone on life support in your home. You know, it was very challenging, but I would do it all over again.
Absolutely. And I like you said a pivotal point about, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, Miss Ann. Like you said, everyone's not meant to be a parent. That's just the bottom line. Like, you have mothers out there and fathers who have unhealed trauma from when they were children, and now they bring a child into the life, because a child doesn't ask to be born. No. They don't ask to be here. So now that the child is here, the child suffers.
Yes.
And basically, I want to take it back to the heat of the night on one of the episodes of Carol O'Connor, one of the heat of the night that you were on. Mm-hmm. There was an episode where Carol O'Connor, I think you may remember the episode where the mom was, it was a Caucasian lady, and her baby, she was an alcoholic.
Yes.
And I remember the caseworker came to the house.
Yes.
And the caseworker said, I cannot believe that a child has been living here. And then
I remember that episode.
Yes. And they asked, even though it was good writing, but it was so true. Yes. They asked Carol, she mm-hmm. They said, what should we do with the mom? Mm-hmm. He said, we need to rehabilitate the mother.
Yes. Yeah.
He said, we need to rehabilitate the mother so she could take care of her child.
It's really quite interesting and timely, because Los Angeles, we're in getting close to our general elections for mayor. And we have the two leading candidates. We have our incumbent, Karen Bass, who I'm supporting, and we have a challenger. And like many cities, New York is no exception. Homelessness is one of the main issues that we're dealing with. And Karen Bass said it as clearly as I've ever heard a politician who's running for re-election say it. Housing is not enough. You can provide someone with a home, but they are still so mentally challenged and drug addicted that they're still defecating in their hands. Mm-hmm. What we need is a system where people with addiction who are trying to survive on the street, which is the most inhumane situation you could possibly place someone, there should be involuntary intake, meaning that person should be taken off the street and put in a hospital setting to help them find their way to stability, and then place them in a home. There are so many people who are dealing with generational scars, trauma, self-medication, vets coming home without assistance from the VA, PTSD, the explosion of recreational legalized drugs. I mean, there are so many elements being thrown at us, and we don't have a system to help those who cannot help themselves. Absolutely. And it was really important for Carol, with many of our stories on In the Heat of the Night, we touched on issues that no one wanted to talk about. And it really wasn't about just arresting the person and sending them away. It was about finding ways, if possible, to find empathy and ways to heal. And that was really important for Carol. Really important.
Yes, yes. I was just, like I told you, I love you and I love In the Heat of the Night. I was just watching the episode where the little boy, it was you and Virgil's neighbor. He played basketball. He got hit by a car.
Yes.
And he survived. And the dad went off and killed the guy who killed his ran over his son.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
We had a couple of episodes like that where there was another episode where Walt Goggins, who's world known now.
I know. Yeah, in the cemetery.
He was a young actor, right? Yes. He felt so his character felt so guilty about something that took place that, and Althea was trying to help him find a way to find his way back, that he kills himself, right? That was really unheard of in those days on an episodic television show.
And then as soon as I was going to ask you, even though it was all for Hollywood and y'all was acting, did you have to seek therapy after that? Him doing that in front of you, even though I know it wasn't. You're seek therapy.
Thank you for asking. That was very traumatic to to have.
To see that, and he did it right in front of you.
Yes, that was really quite traumatic. Did I seek personal therapy? No, but we talked about it on the set. I remember Walt and I crying after each take of that, because your whole body goes, because you try to do your best to replicate something that maybe you've never seen before, never witnessed. I've never witnessed someone take a shotgun and kill themselves, right? So, but you have stunt performers, you have stunt coordinators, you have everyone talking you through exactly what it smells like, what it looks like. And at night, you're taking that home, we talked about it, we cried about it. I remember having ongoing concerns after the rape storyline, because that was also very trying on my soul and everything else.
You killed a stellar performance, by the way. Like, it was jaw dropping. Miss Ann, like, literally jaw-dropping.
And it was another storyline that not a lot of shows would subject their lead female character to, right? Maybe a guest star or a recurring character. Rarely did they, especially for a serious show like ours. Ours was not a nighttime soap opera. We were a serious show. So there is a lot of emotional turmoil as an actor. That's why I think you see, sadly, I think you see a lot of performers ending their lives either by accident or on purpose. We're dealing right now with the poor death of Hayden Pantieer. Yeah.
Look, I know we only got an hour, so let me get right into what we're going to really talk about, because I don't want time to slip away from us. So everyone, welcome to Home Cook Convos. We're speaking to Jonathan, and you're watching Miss Anne Marie. She's a versatile actress and film producer. I just wanted to take a moment of silence for two people. I don't know if you remember Christy Knowings. She was on All That, the Nickelodeon TV show, All That. She just recently passed away with like lung complications, and now Hayden Pantieer. So I just want to do a moment of silence really quick and just think about them and think about their loved ones. Yes. I just wanted to just think about that, because it's just so sad, and we'll really get into that. That'll be another episode, so we'll get into that more. So, but it's just so sad when I seen that, and she was only 36 years old.
It's just an indication of our business.
And on top of that, battling addiction with that, and I seen a recent interview where she was on Jay Petty's show, and she talked about how she's been working since she was 3, and her mom wasn't the best mother. Her mom threw her into the entertainment industry, and she said at 10 years old she had to have the weight of supporting her whole family financially.
It's a very common story in the Screen Actors Guild. Very, very common.
10 years old, supporting her family.
Very common.
And her mom, if she got sick and couldn't go to work, her mom like, what do you mean you're sick? You have to go to work. Because the mom is like, if you don't go to work, our mortgage doesn't get paid. And very too much trauma to put that on a 10-year-old child.
Yeah, it's cruel and inhumane, and we have laws in the state of California and rules and regulations within the Screen Actors Guild about minors as performers, but at the end of the day, it's very tough to get between a parent, between the guardian, and the performer. It is diabolical.
Absolutely. So that's another story, like I said. So we're going to get into what we left off in part 2. So we were talking about, I remember how you said that you had so many credits that you were in. I wanted to ask you, because we wanted to talk about, how was it like knowing and getting to know Sidney Pointier?
Oh!
Because I know you said you knew him, you worked with his daughter. Can
you
just explain?
So his
daughter. Just explain on that?
Yeah, his daughter. Well, I met him prior to working with his daughter. I had the thrill to do a Jackie Collins miniseries. Now, for many of your young listeners of a particular age, Jackie Collins was the ultimate fiction writer about the trials and tribulations and sexual exploits of Hollywood. And she had a series of books that were exceedingly successful. And her sister is Joan Collins. So a very famous British family. Anyway, so one of Jackie's novels was called Lucky, and then Lucky Chances. I think it was a continuation. Anyway, the novels were purchased and turned into a 6-hour miniseries. So I befriended Jackie. We worked together. It was great. I then became friends with the family, and my husband and I would be invited to her home on a regular basis, and she would have these incredible dinner parties. Well, one dinner party, I was seated between Sidney Poitier and Billy Wilder, an incredibly famous director of the studio era. Anyway, so I was mesmerized. I was so pitted out, trying to keep up conversations between Sidney Poitier and Billy Wilder. I cannot believe you. It was an actor's dream come true. He was lovely. He was no airs about him. I remember he gave me the best advice, and he said, always live in the moment. He said, when you are brushing your teeth, brush your teeth. Think of every tooth. He said, try to remain in the moment. And I've remembered that since, I think I met him in 1992, 93, I forget. Anyway, so cut to, I end up playing the mother of his daughter on a TV pilot, and with Sidney, his daughter, and she was just as lovely as her father. Just really quite an incredible human being.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Because I remember Tony Meros when he had Denise Nichols on his show, and Denise was talking about how Sidney Poitier was just this handsome 6'1" man. And she said, I just saw this man come in. He was so nice and elegant. She's like, who is this?
He was a dream, it was. Even when I met him, and he was no longer, I don't think he was actively acting,
Right.
He that was the ultimate symbol of a movie star. We don't have I think Brad Pitt, maybe, there are few movie stars, right? Where people kind of their jaws drop and they don't know what to say. Sidney was a pure movie star. It was just crazy.
I know. So, we all love Sidney Poitier. And the original Heat of the Night, and
my gosh,
what's the other guy? Rod
Steiger and Sidney Poitier and Scott Wilson and Here's the funny thing: how God works. It's such incredible. So I met Sidney. Right? And he knew I was doing In the Heat of the Night. Okay. So I meet Sidney. I do an episode of Hunter with Bea Richards.
Oh, I love Hunter.
Scott Wilson and I were on the Screen Actors Guild board together. Okay. William Schallert, who was in the Heat of the Night, the movie, was on the board. He was also the president of the Screen Actors Guild at one time. He and I were on the board together. There are so many connections with me and the original In the Heat of the Night. It just blows my mind.
Oh, it's crazy. Oh my goodness. it's like a full circle moment.
It is a full circle. I still watch it whenever it's on, because first of all, it's just one of the best movies ever made. So
it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. So I was going to ask you, and you can explain, how was it like working on Double Trouble and Hill Street Blues? Can you speak about your experiences working in these two films?
Double Trouble was a NBC sitcom about twins who lived in New York with their eccentric artist aunt, played by Barbara Barry, and I was my character's name was Eileen Lewis. She was from Jamaica, from a wealthy family, and I was in school with the twins. So I was just a character with a Jamaican accent, and it was a lot of fun. It was I think it was my second series. No, I think that was my first series regular role. And we shot it at the Universal Studios lot. And then right after that was Hill Street Blues. which was so fantastic. There was a good run of show after show after show. And then there was What's Happening Now. So Hill Street Blues was incredible. I mean, Steve Bochco, Hill Street Blues, Michael Warren, who was a guest star on In the Heat of the Night many years later.
Oh my goodness.
He played an excellent friend of Althea's.
And like the young people would say, you were the Beyonce of the 80s. You were the Beyonce of the 80s and the Britney Spears of the 80s.
I was the Beyonce. Yeah, I mean, Hill Street Blues, my storyline followed a true storyline. She was a reporter, an investigative reporter. You know, she was following the police cars, and she was the Caitlin
Talk about a segue if you've been in the Heat of the Night married to Virgil Tibbs.
Not only that, in real life, my father was a police officer, so it all
crazy. It all just connected,
together, right? It all just comes together. But Hill Street Blues was incredible. Obviously, it was such a respected show, and I was fortunate to be a recurring character on that for one season, and it was a wonderful experience.
Well, thank you so much for explaining that, Miss Ann.
Yeah.
Also, I want to ask you, how was it working on the 5 Heartbeats, directed by the amazing Robert Townsend, who co-wrote it with Keenan Ivory Wayans? How was that working on set? And that's part one of that question. And do you still stay in contact with Robert Townsend?
Okay, well, it's easier to answer the second question first. So I actually was just dealing with Robert a couple of months ago because I'm in pre-development of another film, and we wanted him to direct. But our scheduling, and it just wasn't work out. That would have been fun to work with him again. So to answer that question, I probably spoke to Robert about 3 months ago. So what was it like well, I kind of don't remember it, to tell you the truth, because my character, I played one of the publicists for the 5 Heartbeats, I think for the record studio, and Lisa Mendez and I worked together on that, and I was basically cut out of the film, so I don't really remember much of it because I was cut out of the film.
I remember you was talking about how you was on Tony Miro's podcast and how you said you would never do, you know how you about to get excited about a film and then you invited all your friends. That
was Hill Street Blues. So I was so excited to be on Hill Street Blues. And so my first episode was going to premiere. So I had this premiere party I was still living with my parents at the time. So I had this premiere party. I invited all of my high school friends and everything. It was great. And right when the episode, and I had food, everything. It was great.
Everything,
and when the episode was supposed to happen, breaking news, baboon heart baby dies. And the episode was preempted, so I never saw the first episode. Yeah, I never saw the first episode. So I learned a very valuable lesson. Don't celebrate. Just keep it to yourself. Don't celebrate, because the same thing happened to me with 5 Heartbeats. You know,
right,
it was
right. And the thing about it, like, you don't want to pre-say something.
You don't.
Even lie about something.
Don't.
Wait until everything is confirmed before you even put something out there. Because what happens is people hold you to that.
Yes.
And then when they don't see it come to pass, now they think you're a liar. They think you just say stuff. Always make, and like you said, even if it doesn't happen, do your best. Because I know, because you've been in this business over 4 decades.
Yep.
And I'm in the entertainment industry of content creating, podcast, talk show, and I know you have more of a leg up than me, but I'm just saying.
But anything can happen.
But yes, and the thing about it is so hard, Miss Ann. Like I said, I'll book guests. Some guests will come on, and then look at this. I have to go through their PR on everything, and usually the PR is like, unfortunately, no. This person, this, and I'm just like, and then I'm like, This
People have no idea
Can you please explain
how
to people?
hard it is to book guests. They think all you do, Jonathan, is call people up and say, "Hey," and okay, poof, here I am. It is a series of calls, emails, promises, you name it.
Oh yes, and you know, and like Raven Simone, like you love some Raven.
My favorite.
She love Raven. We love. Oh, and I love Raven. Love her. So she has a she's on a podcast with her and her wife, and she was talking about how her parents taught her to, if something doesn't work out, just move on. And Raven said she knows there's people in her industry where she's always wanted to work with, and they've told her broken promises.
Yes.
And she said she's like, hey, when that happens, I move on.
Very true.
She said, I'm not gonna ponder on maybe I wasn't that person's preference. But my thing is, like you always say, it's okay if people say no, but don't string people on and say, oh, get back with me, I'll let you know. Or don't even respond. At least respond saying, thank you so much, but I have to move on. But just to ignore the email?
Unconscionable. That is unconscionable. People, I don't know if it's a generational thing. I don't know what it is. But for the past 5 years, a horrible habit has exploded in all industries, but specifically our industry. They don't respond. They don't email back. They don't return. They don't say yes but no. They don't say thank you but no.
I respect the person who says, I respectfully have to pass. At least they responded.
There you go. And it is, and I'll tell you where it's really quite hard to deal with. For your audience, when actors audition, I still audition. I've been at this for almost 44 years, and I still have to audition. I'm on
which that's crazy to me.
Crazy.
To be given roles like you've been in this business over 4 decades, and let's talk about. We're about to do a part 4 of why you're not on The View. You've been trying to get on The View forever, but that's a whole nother story.
That's a story, but I still have to audition. I'm on television in some form or fashion every day. Old work, new, whatever. I've got
syndications, like it's still showing the heat of the night every day.
Every day. And I've got a movie now, streaming.
The Addiction of Hope. You're everywhere. Love you.
So the other day, I had to audition for a guest star for the show Tracker. Okay? So I do this audition on tape because they don't see us any longer in person. We have to.
Also, they do virtual. Everything is virtual.
Not even that. Now it's like a self-tape. Now it's a self-tape.
Just like Joe's character on The Addiction of Hope.
Exactly like Joe's character. So these were 4 pages of dialogue, and the character the character was very challenging. She had an illness. She had to be emotional. So I work my ass off. I do the audition. I send it to my managers and my agents. They say, "Oh my God, this is fabulous." They submit it to the casting directors. Dead silence. They don't return the phone calls. They don't return the emails. Just to say, hey, sorry, she was great, but we're not going that way. Nothing. Casting directors do not say anything any longer. So the actor is wondering, what the fuck? Why did I do something wrong?
Let me ask you this. I didn't mean to cut you off. You ever heard this saying, like, no news is good news? So do you think that works in their favor, and then like 3 months later they get a call back? Why do you think that is?
In this business, no news is bad news.
Okay.
In this business, no news is bad.
Bad news is bad.
Yeah, definitely in this. So the whole thing, you kind of understand why a lot of actors and artists get a chip on their shoulders, because unless you're part of the creme de la creme, and for black people, they only allow one or two creme de la cremes. You can't have
only one or two.
You only get one or two. If like we say, when a white person gets a cold, a black person has the flu. It's always worse for us in every aspect of life.
I love that analogy.
Every aspect of life in this country. So you can only imagine what it is to be an actor over 50, an actor who's female, and an actor of color. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely. So I wanted to segue also. Thank you for sharing that, Miss Ann. I just love you. Look, like you said, when you kept your word, y'all. Let me tell y'all, she texted me like she said she was gonna do, and like when I come to California, we really do. I'll let you know. In advance. Make sure you're there. We definitely gonna get brunch, and
we're gonna get a good.
Look, your husband's gonna look at us and be like, "What are y'all laughing about?"
He's not allowed to join us. It'll just be the two of us.
Yes. But I'm saying, if he sees like the chemistry, like, and you know what's so funny, Miss Ann? People have commented on our first conversation, and I'm gonna tell my audience, I have never met Miss Ann physically. That was my first time, and somebody commented and said to me, "Oh my gosh, y'all chemistry is amazing. The way y'all feed off each other and laughter." But that's what you can tell by you've been in this business over 4 decades. If you and I were in a film, the chemistry would be...
Oh my God, they'd have to shut down the set. They'd have to say, this is just too crazy.
Because people don't understand in this business, when you do table reads...
Yes.
You have to do chemistry to make sure you even like the person. Because think about it, it's going to show across on film if y'all don't like each other.
That's interesting that you bring up table reads, because many times I will refuse to do a table read because let's say, so I get the role, right? And it's a good role and it's wonderful and everything's great and the network has approved me and the studio has approved me. And so now I'm at the table read, and now all the director's there and
everybody's there, yes.
Everyone's there. And let's say you have an off day. Let's just say you got bad news earlier and you're not feeling well or something like that. They can fire you. They can fire you at the table read. So I now say to myself, and I say to my representatives, you have to guarantee that I will have my job after that table read, or I am not going to attend the table read, because there's no guarantee that there could be one. Talk about a table read. So do you remember the show, oh God, it was with Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt? Oh, anyway.
The 80s, right?
Yeah, it was in the 90s, early. Anyway, so...
Not Miami Vice, right?
No. It was a comedy with...
Comedy.
For Your Love or something like that. Anyway.
Oh, yes.
A young actor was there at the table read. Mel Brooks didn't like the way he pronounced a word, and he was fired. So I looked at that and I went, this is crazy. This is not normal.
Yes. And I remember how you said on a podcast, and look, this will probably be another part 4 down the road. Because Ann, you got so many gems. Remember how you said working on Mad TV was horrible?
No, it was not Mad TV. It was In Living Color. Because
it was Mad.
Mad about.
I knew it was something with Mad. Mad about.
That's the show I'm talking about, where the young actor was fired. Mad About You was the worst working experience I've ever had.
And you say you walked up and said, "Well, you won't see me coming back.
You're not going to see me again." It was
horrible. And you said the guy, I remember you was on the podcast because I love everything about you.
Paul Reiser was very, very sweet. He was lovely, but it was horrible.
Right. It was horrible. I remember because I love everything about you. When you was on that podcast, you said the guy that they fired at the table read. You said you went out there and told him, "Hey, this too shall pass."
I walked him to his car because he was crying. I walked because he was young, and he did nothing wrong. And I walked him to his car, and I said, but trust me, this too shall pass. This is not any indicator of your future. This is just a blip on the radar." It was horrible.
Horrible experience. That's crazy. Can you just, in a nutshell, just touch briefly on how was it like working on Hollywood Shuffle with Robert Townsend?
Loved it.
You said no problem.
Loved it. Loved everyone in it. Loved the experience. Loved the fact that this film, it's celebrating its 40th anniversary this year.
Wow.
Just everything about it was fabulous.
Just fabulous. And
everything
Mr.
about
Robert, he was like, Robert Townsend was like the GOAT in the 80s.
My God.
Like, oh my God. Babs.
Fabulous. Wonderful.
Everything. Like wonderful everything.
I have nothing negative to say about that wonderful project.
Yes, exactly. So in the 1988 film you was in, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
Fabulous. Wonderful.
Fabulous. You were hilarious. Oh my gosh.
And I loved everyone, and I loved Keenan.
You played a what was it, like a hooker?
He was a prostitute named Cherry.
Cherry. When I tell you, you were hilarious. When I tell you, like you know how you say you love Raven Simone, Miss Ann. People don't understand. Audience, you don't know. I know everyone's seen Miss Ann in a lot of drama series, He's the Night, but she is first known as a comedian.
Yeah.
People don't understand that comedy is your expertise.
Yeah.
People forget because you play drama so well, though.
And hold on, I'm going to turn on my air conditioner. Hold on.
Oh no, you're fine. Take your time. I got my Joe fan over here with me.
Because we're having. I know New Yorkers aren't going to feel sorry for us, but it's very humid here in LA, which is.
I know. It gets like that.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It was like 103 degrees outside like 2 weeks ago.
No, was it? Oh no.
103.
Yeah, it's hot, but we're not. We love hot, but we don't love humid in LA. We just don't understand it.
We don't like to understand it.
No. I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. The character name was Cherry. She was a prostitute who I don't want to give away because some people really truly have not seen it because they weren't.
Not seen it. Yes.
They see it.
Right. So please go see I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. Please.
It was a blast. It was a blast. Loved it.
Which, by the way, had a star-studded cast. Bernie Cassie.
Yep.
Chris Rock.
Yep.
John Lewis.
Yes.
Kadeen Henderson.
Jim
Jeanette Dubois.
Jeanette Dubois from God, she did many things, but she was on Good Times. That's her most.
Good Times, yes. Oh my gosh. I looked at that, I'm like, oh my gosh, everything.
Isaac Hayes. I mean, it was huge. It was a huge cast. Yeah.
Star-studded, like.
Wonderful cast.
Wonderful. Like it's just amazing. Like I said, I just love.
It truly is a classic, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, because it was a spoof on all the exploitation films of the 70s with black stars. And it was nice to have some of those same actors who were in those original movies in the 70s on the set. Yeah, Keenan wrote such a great screenplay. It was fabulous.
And do you still stay in contact with any of the Wayans brothers?
Oh, I've worked for them a few times, but I've not stayed in contact with them.
Contact with them as much, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now your character Althea Tibbs in The Heat of the Night on the last season, you was on the last season of In Living Color. How was it on the Living Color coming into the last season? How was that?
It was touchy because the Wayans were suing Fox.
Oh wow!
So
and let me know if there's anything you don't want to say.
Oh no!
You don't have to say it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not hiding anything. So The Wayans had left because they were suing Fox.
Oh.
Why they were suing, I didn't exactly understand, but anyway. So Tommy Davidson and I had done a movie together called Strictly Business, and and we had a blast. And Tommy called me right when I was leaving in the heat of the night, and he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Meh." He said, "Do you want to come do In Living Color?" So that's how I got the job. So Tommy Davidson got me on In Living Color, and the sad part was I was really excited because I thought I was going to be reunited with the Wayans, since we had a working relationship on Hollywood Shuffle and the Hollywood Shuffle Players, and then I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, and there were no Wayans. So it was an interesting experience. David Alan Grier was great. I'd known David for years. Jim Carrey was fabulous. Just wonderful. The women were terrific, but it was just a very difficult show to work on. Very, very difficult.
Very difficult show to work on.
Well, because it was kind of sexist. Women.
Yeah.
Didn't get equal.
That's what Jennifer Lopez had her start as a dancer, the Flat Girl.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And it was the men kind of ruled. Even now, it's the assumption that women aren't as funny as men. So there was a lot of battle for airtime, and I wasn't used to that. And so I was so blessed to have the opportunity, and the characters that I did have the opportunity to portray have been well remembered. But it was a really difficult job, very, very difficult.
Right. And I know you worked on Living Single.
Loved it.
Loved it. So how was it with all the girls? Kim, are you still friends with Kim Coles and all of them?
I haven't seen Kim. Kim and I did. She was also in Strictly Business.
Living Color. Okay.
In years, Erica obviously is in our film, The Addiction
of Hope. Yes.
I loved Living Singles, and there is a scene now from Living Singles that is trending everywhere. And it's with Erica and myself and two other actors, where my character's hair, her wig, gets caught in a coat rack, and
God, that was hilarious.
Hilarious, yeah.
That really happened, and you said Erica she just played right with it, and she
no one broke character. We just followed, and that they had to hold for laughs. I mean, the audience was rolling in the aisles. It was very, very
rolling in the aisles.
That scene is everywhere now. It was. Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
It was amazing.
Yeah, Queen Latifah. Everyone was great.
Oh, everybody. In a nutshell, cause we're almost done. Because I know we got an hour, so it's 4:48 my time. So I was going to ask you. I remember on Tony Miro's podcast, you were saying how when you first met Virgil, when you first met Howard Rowans,
yes,
he played a trick on you.
He played the worst.
Can you tell people about the trick and tell people what he did?
So, we shot the pilot episode. It was a 2-hour movie of the week, and we shot it in Hammond, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Hammond, Louisiana wasn't known for being a film location, okay? So it was kind of rough.
Heavy segregated, too.
It was very rough, okay? So, it was my first day on the set. Now, Howard's character, Virgil, had been working a few days ahead of me. So now it's my first day on the set. And I had not met Howard yet. I was cast first, but then they cast Howard, but we hadn't met at all. So it's the scene where we're at Howard's, Virgil Tibbs's mother's funeral. So it's, we have a lot of background performers, and it's a funeral scene, and we're standing outside near the casket, and, everyone's very serious and sad, and the director says, "Anne-Marie, this is Howard. Oh, hi, oh my God, hi." And so we're getting along, everything is great, so now we have to start work. And Howard played a horrible trick on me. He said, "Oh, wait. There's a background performer who really wants to meet you, Anne-Marie. So let me introduce you." So this man comes up to me, and he had a voice box with a microphone, so you could hear what so his obviously his vocal cords were removed, so he had to rely on a voice box. And I didn't know because he was wearing a tie and a high shirt, so I had no idea. So the man says to me, "Nice to meet you." And I mean, it was, and I froze, and I said, "Nice to meet you too." And Howard he started rolling on the ground because of my react. They both were in on it, but I wasn't. And that was the beginning of my relationship with Howard.
Well, Howard.
And we would tease each other all day. I loved Howard Rollins. Loved him
Loved him to pieces. Right. Oh my gosh. I know.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, do you remember that old TV show, Silk Stockings?
Sure. Yeah. I remember. I was never on it, but I remember it.
Yeah. And it's so funny because that was like in the 80s and 90s. It's almost like,
I should have been.
Well, yeah, you should have been on it because you ruled the 80s and the 90s. I'm like, I can't believe your agent. I can't believe your agent didn't get you a role on Silk Stockings.
I was probably not available, Jonathan. I was probably working on something else. I should have been on Silk Stockings. I would have been perfect. Because Silk Stockings was on the same as Hunter, and I was on Hunter, so I wasn't on Silk Stockings. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, crazy. Can you, before we finish, can you, in a nutshell, can you talk about when you was on Melrose Place? And you played the reoccurring character, y'all, Alicia Barnett.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And then after you talk about your experience, talk about why they killed your character off.
Okay. So, first of all, Aaron Spelling was wonderful. As my boss, he was terrific.
Aaron Starr.
Everything, they were great. No problem. The set was kind of interesting. I didn't really, I worked with the men. I rarely worked with any of the women. So I worked with Jack Wagner, I worked with John Enos, I worked with Doug Savant. I worked with the guys. So, I had a blast. The women kind of standoffish, so I really didn't get to know anyone, So, and I had just gotten married. Yeah, I had just gotten married, so it was really exciting. And Melrose Place, who wouldn't want to be on Melrose Place, right? But they weren't known for their diversity, right? So I believe I was maybe the third black person they ever had on their show that spoke, right? It was Jasmine Guy, Vanessa Bell, Vanessa Williams, not Vanessa Williams, but Vanessa Williams, and myself. So, okay, so the character was really successful. My character was
Alicia Barnett. Yes.
Yeah, she was a killer lawyer, and she killed someone with a golf club. I mean, she was just a really solid nighttime soap opera character. Well, now I finished my first season, and now we're getting into the next season, and my manager calls me. And I'm expecting, okay, your character will be back. You'll be doing this many episodes, blah, blah, blah. And my manager at the time said, your character, we hadn't ended the season yet. And she said, I just want to give you a heads up. They're killing your character off. And I said, what? Yes, they're killing your character off. And I said, why? Is it something I did? And she said, no. They said they didn't know how to write for a black actor. So that was it, and they killed me. I mean, my character.
I know you.
I blew up 10 times in a floor.
Right, you blew up. You leaned down your cell phone. You get in a car, and then everything explodes. So nobody's coming back.
This is how much they wanted me off the show. They had my character drop the cell phone while she's driving her car. She bends down to get the cell phone. She picks up the cell phone, and here is an oil rig, an oil truck, a gasoline truck coming towards me, and kaboom!
Kaboom!
They killed me times 10.
But my thing is like, I don't understand. I guess back then, was it not a lot of diverse writers couldn't write for African American characters?
Very, very difficult back then for, and still difficult, but not as difficult, but exceedingly difficult back then. What they call the writer's room, which is the room writers, meet and talk. Very few people of color, very few women. The writer's room is still prominently filled with white males. I mean, that's just
right.
the thing. They hire each other. Right. So, I mean, it's a lot better than when it was when I was first starting. But, when you have a room and there are no writers who can relate to your culture, who can relate to you, that's what happens.
Right. I know Issa Rae, when she had her show Insecure, she was really big about hiring black writers in the writer's room.
Yes. Yeah.
And I
think her writer's room was predominantly
African American. So she's really big about that, and then she wrote some stuff too. So we love Issa Rae. So yeah,
that's how things change. It changes from the top, right? So if your star of a show walks in and sees that the set does not represent the American scene, then you need to do something about it. There's no excuse. You, as the star of the show, need to look and say, this does not reflect the American scene. And unfortunately, too many stars of shows are white. And so that's not their jam. That's not their agenda. That's not their purpose. It takes allies. It takes white allies. Right?
Yes.
And it takes
to speak up for their counterparts. Yeah.
That's what it takes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it takes. So the last two things I want to ask you before we get you out of here, because they're very important. I don't want to miss these. The first one is, what do you think about networks, Miss Ann, always trying to reboot every damn thing?
Horrible.
My thing is this. Leave things in the 80s and the 90s. Stop trying to reboot, because you can't capture the essence of the 80s and 90s. Kim Fields on Living Single, they kept asking her, are you going to do a reboot of Living Single? And she said, no, I wouldn't do it. She said, because they're not going to be able to capture the essence of the 90s, how Living Single was. She said, I want people to enjoy the reruns.
Yeah, they tried to reboot In the Heat of the Night, epic fail. They tried to reboot In Living Color, epic fail. It just doesn't.
I didn't like in the Heat of the Night when they had Chief. Nothing against the actor Chief Forbes. I like it when it was Virgil Tibbs.
Yeah, I know, but that was tough. And Carl Weathers, God bless him. It just didn't work. Right, but when Howard left the show, the show had to continue, and I had to leave the show, so you have to continue. But the rebooting, listen, in the studio era, in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, all the way up into the 60s, they would redo movies all the time. They would take plays and turn them into screenplays. So it's nothing new. But it's ridiculous, the amount of, the lack of creativity, because my final note is, we are a business scared of our own shadow. We are falling apart. The television industry and the feature industry is falling apart. And it's on life support. And what I have to say about that is, for your viewing audience, please support independent films.
Like The Addiction of Hope. Go out there and watch that. It's streaming everywhere. Tubi, YouTube, everywhere.
Because that storytelling, and major motion films are not storytellers any longer. They're extended cartoons.
They're always trying to it's almost like, why are you rebooting everything? Do you not have a mind of your own? Like, why are you trying to just stop it?
No, just stop it. And they're relying on AI. We are living in the last 50 years of our industry. Probably.
Yes.
years.
Like the iconic John Hughes, The Breakfast Club. You cannot redo that. Do not
No.
stop it. Leave
No.
Breakfast Club back in the 80s.
Alone.
Do not.
Just leave it alone. Think of something new.
Think of something new. So lastly, I want to ask if you could share, and if you can't, you just leave it at that. What can we expect from Miss Ann? Any future things that you're working on? Is there anything else? I mean, don't spill nothing that's gonna But
I don't.
well, no, don't spill. But you are. We can expect some more stuff from you.
I'll tell you what I'm in development. I won't tell you what I'm doing as an actor because I don't want to jinx it. But I am in development of a film with Michael T. Williamson. He'll be directing.
Amazing.
And we're very, very, very excited because we may have just hired an Academy Award-winning screenwriter. So amazing. We're so excited about this. So
but
that's
I hope you're acting in it because we love you. Okay.
And that's what I'm doing as a producer. You know, for your audience, for those who appreciate our conversations, all I ask is that you pray for those of us who've been at this for a long time and are being ignored purely because we're no longer 35 years old.
Right. But the thing about it, I will just leave it on this note. The work should speak for itself.
It should.
And how much of a great actor and actresses, because sometimes, I don't know about you, Miss Ann, when you see somebody being in a drama series, sometimes you can tell that it looks fake. Like, this doesn't even look real. Like, because when you're an actor, you got to embody that character.
Yes.
I'm like, this seems so fake. I'm just like, when you have vets like yourself, like, you know, yourself, Miss Ann, like, I just don't like how they do people who've been in the industry for 40, 50, 60 years.
Do they do it to all of us when you hit a certain age. And I also want your listeners to kind of understand, when you don't see your favorite actor on television or in the movies for an extended period of time, it's not the actor's choice. It's not the actor's fault. It's because the industry no longer wants us on the screen. It's not because we choose not to work. It's because we're doing our best to keep our head above water and pay our bills and support our families and our extended families. But it's the industry that forces us into the world of unemployment. It's not because of us.
Right. And there you have it, America. And you know how people always used to say, I don't want to get into Hollywood because Hollywood is Holly weird.
Yes.
They call it Hollywood. They say I don't even want to get into the industry no more. This is why, Miss Ann, if I leave, that's why I create my own stuff.
There you go.
And I do stuff because, you know, like you said before, I've done acting stuff and stuff like that, and now if I'm trying to do it now, it's so hard, and they want you to be a certain demographic. Like even if I start doing everything correct, they'll go, oh, well, we were looking for someone who is a 98 pounds.
Yes.
But we love everything about you, but
yes,
we need somebody that's 98 pounds
yes,
and don't really have gray in their beard. Can you
correct.
dye that? Can you make that darker?
Or maybe you don't have enough gray. Maybe, you know, there's always, you're lucky if they even tell you, like I told you earlier, I have no idea why I'm not getting these jobs. They don't even bother to tell me why I'm not getting these jobs. But ultimately, the reason is that the industry has created a campaign against older women. That's why you don't see a lot of us.
But I would say this. Tell your husband to keep on producing,
yes,
keep making incredible content, because the addiction of hope is just that's God just letting you know, like, you have something. So keep doing independent films, Miss Ann, and they get picked up because you're amazing in it, and Martin is amazing. Just keep doing. Hey, you ever hear people say, create your own lane?
Well,
you follow them, create your own.
Like you did. We are creating our own freeways.
Yes. So we control the narrative.
So we control the narrative.
Absolutely. Well, everyone, this has been an episode of Home Cook Convos. Miss Ann, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I love you to pieces. You're like family now. So even like we are going to meet physically,
Well, when you come to LA, I know where I'm taking.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes. And then if you're ever in New York doing something, please contact me and Tony Miros and let us know. We can meet up. There's so much food places.
Cafe if I did that.
Well, oh, look, there's so much eating food places on West 4th and eating places that we can go.
You'll have to take us around. That'll be great.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. You enjoy the rest of your day and keep being fabulous. Keep giving us good content. We love everything that you and your husband are doing. We love the collaboration. We love the addiction of hope. We love anything that you're in. I'm going to support. It doesn't matter what it is.
You'll get the heads up.
Yes, and you let me know too, off camera. If you know any 80s and 90s guests that want to come on the show, please let them know.
Yes. Let's get off and I'll send you. I'll send you ideas.
Yeah, yes. Give me some idea because you got my number. We'll stay in contact. Okay.
All right, my love.
Okay. Well, you have a good one. Bye, everyone.
Bye.